Okay, so I alluded to the fact that I personally dealt with some of the weight loss resistance, or not even that so much as hormone imbalances and stage 3 issues. So a lot of caffeine, a lot of life stress, too much exercise, not enough fat, too much caloric restriction, and taking anything to stimulate the central nervous system. These things can throw you into adrenal fatigue, okay? And so that's something to understand. That's why I've backed off so aggressively with my own personal training protocols. I'll just go a little bit into this briefly. And then also with training other people and show prepping and that kind of thing. I refuse to do things the way I know how to do them, because I know that when you get into your 30s or your late 30s and you want things to be working properly and they're not, that's a problem. And it doesn't matter how cute you were temporarily, your body is supposed to work for you and serve you. And so that's why I've changed a lot of the approach that I have, and I don't believe in just having my clients in the gym all day, every day. I know the long-term consequences of it, and I see it in lab work constantly. Not just my own with my clients anecdotally, but I do clinic rounds with other practitioners around the country, and I see the labs of some of the athletes, some professional athletes right now, and what's going on with them hormonally. What will happen with the HPA axis? First of all, over-exercising and under-eating. As a female, those two things can very much deplete your progesterone and estrogen and increase your testosterone. That is where the muscle can come from, because, right, guys have testosterone, and that's what makes them muscly. And yeah, I just made that up. So that's where that comes from. Okay. On top of this, you've got this kind of weirdness going on with the hormones because of the overexercise and undereating. Then you've got the stress of all of the things that I just described, and then like life drama and past stressors and all that. The HPA axis, while it's trying to take pregnenolone and keep itself going, will start to throw off the sex hormones, because it's pregnenolone, and then DHEA is right underneath that, and then testosterone and androgen hormones, and then estrogen hormones. So you've got this whole hormone pathway that's right underneath. So when that starts to go, and they're not getting pregnenolone like they're supposed to, they get out of whack. Clients will tell me they have really rough PMS, or like in my case, they lost their menstrual cycle altogether. From my early 30s, I just could not get a menstrual cycle. Didn't matter how many birth control pills or estrogen my doctor threw at me. Couldn't get that bad boy restarted. Fine now, got my hormones balanced, and it sure wasn't doing it the medicinal, traditional, allopathic way. Okay. And that is why I'm a believer in everything that I stand for these days, is because I know how to do everything when it comes to weight loss and fat loss the right way with the worst consequences. And so when this pathway starts to get derailed and the sex hormones get thrown off, you'll have rocky menstrual cycles. You'll have problems with fibroids. And like I said earlier, the PCOS, because PCOS is a matter of having higher testosterone. Okay. Well, if you're exercising a whole lot and restricting, and then you've got pregnenolone still occurring, you can absolutely find yourself in this metabolic mess. Okay. And hormonal mess. I think that's really what I need to say. Okay. Cortisol also throws off the thyroid. That's your HPT axis, okay? So you got a lot of people running around with hypothyroidism, and when I get them to sit down and give me a history, they've done every diet, they worked out with a crazy trainer, and they were flipping tires, and they were running, and they did every marathon and everything else. Now she's 40 and can't lose weight, okay? I get this all day. All right, this is what I'm dealing with constantly. Hypothyroidism, some sort of thyroid impairment. I've got clients with pituitary deficiency or insufficiency. You name it. Anything that can go wrong with the thyroid is happening. Why do we care about the thyroid? Well, the thyroid controls body temperature, it controls metabolism, it controls digestion, it controls energy. Starting to feel a little low energy and dizzy and this, that, and the other, you got to have your thyroid checked. And just because the medical community says, and I'm going to say this on video, just because they say that your thyroid is functional and you're fine and your numbers look okay, doesn't mean that you are. I see clients all the time with obviously having thyroid problems, I'll do some sort of naturopathic testing with them with body temperature and realize that, yeah, they really do have some sort of thyroid deficiency, and do some supplementation and lifestyle intervention and start to get a lot of those things turned around. So when you're looking at hormones, I've taken 2 videos now to talk about hormones, and this one specifically more sex hormones and thyroid. Please make decisions around movement and nutrition and lifestyle and self-care responsibly. Before I lose my voice, we're moving on.